What began as a religious succession dispute inside the International Pentecostal Holiness Church would eventually draw in police investigators, prosecutors, judicial officers, and other departments. In this final episode, we examine how the IPHC conflict crossed from civil court battles into criminal investigations, leading to arrest, fraud charges, and allegations that reached deep into the justice system. This episode is based on court records, National Prosecuting Authority statements, police charge sheets, and media investigations. All accused persons are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. For several years after Glayton Modise's death, the IPHC conflict played out primarily in civil courts. Competing factions sought urgent interdict, asset control, and recognition as the legitimate leadership of the church. But as evidence mounted around disputed documents, investigators began asking a more serious question. Was any crime committed in the process of claiming power? This marked the turning point when law enforcement formally became involved. At the center of the investigation was the will that named Michael Sandlana as successor to Glayton Modise, according to court records and forensic reports. The will's authenticity was formally challenged. Handwriting experts found that the signature did not correspond with verified samples of Glayton Modise's handwriting. Prosecutors allege the document was falsified. The state further alleges that the disputed will was used to assert authority, influence church governance, and gain recognition in legal proceedings. Based on this, Sandlana was charged with fraud and uttering forged documents. He has denied the allegations, and the matter remains before the courts. As investigators followed the document trail, attention turned to how certain disputed documents were processed and legally recognized. According to the National Prosecuting Authority and media reports, prosecutors argued that Judge Patlani allegedly pocketed 2 million rands in bribery and a multi-million rand property from Sandlana. The alleged payment was intended to improperly influence judgments in cases involving Sandlana. Public reports say the judge was heavily indebted. That's why she was tempted to accept the bribe money from Sandlana. These actions were linked to documentation central to the IPHC dispute. As a result, Judge Patlani was arrested. Her son, who played a role in the bribery scandal, was also arrested. A close ally of Sandlana, who also played a major role in the scandal, was also arrested and charged with corruption-related offenses. All the accused deny wrongdoing. No court has made a final determination, and the case remains ongoing. The allegations marked a significant escalation, drawing the judiciary into the IPHC crisis. Another case emerged involving Mahalani Benedicta Sandlana, the wife of Michael Sandlana. According to police and prosecutor statements, Sandlana was in possession of a death certificate issued declaring her deceased. Evidence later indicated she was alive. Authorities discovered that the death certificate was fraudulently obtained from the Department of Home Affairs. The prosecution argues that the document was used for administrative and legal purposes. This allegation became one of the central criminal charges against Michael Sandlana. As criminal investigations deepened, media reports revealed that the Department of Home Affairs opened a probe into possible identity irregularities involving Sandlana. According to these reports, different ID numbers were identified across official records. Authorities began verifying whether Sandlana may have been linked to multiple ID numbers. The probe was initiated following inconsistencies uncovered during criminal investigations. Home Affairs has not publicly concluded this investigation. The allegations remain under review, with no final findings announced as yet. In late December 2021, a violent incident at church property led to the death of Tumelo Mantu. While no charges have been brought against Sandlana, family members and others have publicly alleged his involvement. A murder case was opened with the police, but as of now, there have been no arrest. It is alleged that Tumelo was found smoking weed on church property and was assaulted to death, allegedly under the command of Sandlana. It is alleged that after Tumelo's death, Sandlana summoned Tumelo's father, who is also a member of Sandlana's faction, and offered him 1 million rand in cash, and he accepted it. With multiple investigations underway, arrest followed. Michael Sandlana was arrested and charged with fraud, document forgery, offences related to the alleged falsified death certificate of his wife. Judge Patlani was also arrested and charged with corruption-related offences. All matters are currently before the courts, where evidence will be tested. While criminal proceedings continued, the IPHC remained fractured. Court battles over church properties, leadership authority, and governance persisted. For many ordinary members, the conflict resulted in confusion over which side to be on, disrupted services, confusion over leadership, deep divisions within church members. Members who were once united as one big family have now become enemies. The IPHC saga raised broader national concerns about governance in religious institutions, succession planning in organizations controlling large assets, the integrity of official documents, judicial independence, and the role of state systems in private institutional disputes. What began as a church leadership conflict evolved into a test of South Africa's legal and administrative systems. At the time of this documentary, criminal cases remain ongoing. No final convictions have been secured. Investigations by the NPA and Home Affairs continue. The IPHC remains divided. Please subscribe and get updated as the cases unfold. Thanks for watching and see you in the next episode.